Audio on. All right. We're coming into a show here.
Now. Hey, welcome to Stranger Show, where we talk about Stranger Things.
Yep.
The
3.
TV show. Season 3. We are going to be talking about episode 3 and 4 on this episode. Now, this is actually when stuff starts getting good. Our first episode was kind of, because those episodes are kind of, But, so episode 3, though, they go back to Hawkins' lab, don't they?
They go back to the lab because Joyce's magnets stop working.
Her magnets stop working. And is that where did we decide that's where they meet Alexei?
No. That's where they get attacked by the Russian dude.
That's right.
The creepy Terminator-looking Russian dude. And then
Yes.
he kicks Hopper's butt, and then
Yes, he
Joyce
does.
finds Hopper. And then Hopper gets angry Hopper. And then next episode, I think he goes and he takes it.
Because this episode, he was all bent out of shape because
Because she got stood up, yeah.
Yeah, she
at the
stood
start
him
of
up. Because the magnets.
episode,
Because she got all wigged out about the magnets.
My favorite thing about
rightfully
Joyce.
so.
Joy's really into like
favorite
making sure
thing-
things like lights and magnets
My
work.
favorite thing about Joyce is they've stayed consistent about how, like, she's, like, in season 1, she goes crazy about the lights.
The lights.
And in season 2, does she go crazy about anything, like, little in season 2?
Yeah, her
My
kid.
son.
Her kid.
Well, I guess that was all
He's
right.
insignificant
Yeah.
to this whole show.
Season 3, now she's obsessed about magnets. Apparently, she watched that ICP music video and like, magnets, how do they work? I love that they just keep making like. I hope the next season, like Winona Ryder sees one of those things with like the clacking balls and like
It becomes the arc for a whole
just trying to
episode.
figure out like how that works.
If I do this.
But it has, but it has nothing to do with anything on the show.
Yeah, it's just a
She never goes back
Whole
to
episode.
Hawkins. she never goes back to Hawkins ever. She's just trying to figure out why those do that. She's like, it's got to be because of the upside down. It's just
Yeah.
like, click, clack, click, clack.
And then they zoom out. She's in a straitjacket.
Yeah. I love it already. I think we just wrote the 4th season.
So
So she goes.
4 seasons just
crazy
all in
about magnets.
Joyce's head.
it's a spin-off called Joyce.
It's just called Joyce. She's just.
Situation comedy.
Which is funny too because have you seen Winona Ryder at the awards ceremony, like any of the gifts from that, where she's all like she's lost
Almost
her.
appalled.
She's just lost her
Joyce,
her
written-
mind, man.
Joyce, written and directed by Winona Ryder.
It's her. The whole show is actually just in Winona Ryder's head. She thinks she's filming Mr. Deeds still. That's a weird joke. Anyway, so episode 3 though, he gets stood up and he's angry, rightfully so. Yeah, he
It's
gets stood up.
stupid. Like, yes, the science teacher. has
She
been
gets stood up
around,
because
but
of
it's
magnets.
Weird.
Yeah,
You don't. Yeah, there it is. That's it.
that's the yeah.
What am I doing here? I like they're holding her to make sure she doesn't get away.
There. You stay there, Winona.
Oh, poor Winona. She wouldn't have won that award. She would have stole it.
What's she do? Oh my god.
She's got to be.
It's
on.
like she's about to do that.
No, she's gonna be
She's-
Tarzan.
I think she's on something, man. She's got to be.
Yeah, she's a duck. She's a weird duck.
Yeah. Do you think she'll be in the Beetlejuice sequel? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I will say for episode 3, I still think David Harbour is still probably the best actor in the show.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough credit for some of his roles. Like, he was Hellboy just sucked, I heard.
Yeah, I heard that too.
But
I'll still watch it, but I heard it
He's
sucked.
gonna be in that new Black Widow movie, the prequel for Marvel, and I think that if that goes well, It's got to go well, otherwise everyone's gonna associate him with the bad movies.
If
and
you
the
get
good
a
TV show.
chance, if you get a chance on Netflix, he has a show. It's like Frankenstein's Monster's Monster, where he plays himself. He plays himself. Who is playing his dad? It's like Frankenstein's Monster's Monster. Yeah, watch the preview for it.
God, here we go.
It's pretty funny though.
This is how these shows go, friend.
I created life, and I created it in my own image. Why not?
40 years ago, my father, David Harbour Jr., conducted the noble experiment of producing plays for television.
Don't get too close.
We've been logging that footage, looking for insight into my father.
He bit off a lot with this play.
You're pretending to be me, Dr. Frankenstein, while I pretend to be the life that you've created in order to secure funding from her who represents the research institute.
Did my father have a compulsion to court disaster?
It's taking so long. I'm hungry. You give me cold beef.
There's a lot of things about your father you may not want to know.
Told you not to dig.
It's like Orson
Young
Welles.
thing.
type.
He and your father would clash.
Why are you crying? You're gonna be digging. You're gonna get dirt on your fingernails. They have to remove your nails.
What are you doing? Are you threatening me?
Well, I want answers.
Part of the mob. Part of the mob.
That's how I got into Juilliard.
Joey kept on going.
Nudging him. Don't make me wave this gun around.
I hate secrets.
Frankenstein's Monster Frankenstein.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. It's hilarious. I watched the whole thing and I laughed the whole time. But he says that line several times, saying, and that's how I got into Juilliard. So his dad is insane, and he's also
Oh
insane.
yes,
No,
the bad Seth Rogen movie.
I could give I could give a care.
I like Seth Rogen, but I don't
That's
know
a
about that
horrible
movie.
idea.
Have you seen the trailer? I haven't watched it yet. I
Watch
haven't.
it.
Yeah, they keep putting on YouTube.
After this show,
We'll see.
They keep putting it on YouTube.
it can be our weird, spontaneous thing
Yeah.
at the end.
Anyway, so David Harbour though, like he's doing some funny stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen. He was in Newsroom, which was a pretty good show.
With Jeff Daniels.
And he plays a news reporter, and he's really good in it.
I've been wanting to watch that show.
It's a good show. I mean,
He's
it's
also in an episode of Drunk History.
yes,
He's pretty good in that one.
yes. So so David Harbour, like that was like my big takeaway from episodes where he was like, man, he's just funny. I still think I'm gonna watch Hellboy. Like,
Yeah, I want to.
I mean, on Netflix at least or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna, or on Redbox maybe, like $1, $2.50 or however much it costs to rent a movie on Redbox. It's not very much,
Or
right?
on whatever the next streaming service
Whatever
is.
the thing comes out will be, I'll watch it on that.
Yeah. Do you Redbox?
Sometimes I Redbox. If it's not on Amazon yet, I'll go Redbox
Yeah.
it.
See, I don't Redbox very often. It's just I feel weird standing at a kiosk now
Yeah.
when I can stream. I feel
Yeah,
like
but sometimes it's not available yet to stream it.
that's true.
I wanted to watch Into the Spider-Verse and it still wasn't on anything yet. I mean, it is now. It's on everything now.
Yeah.
But at the time though, I wanted to watch it. Like it came out on DVD and I wanted to watch it and it wasn't on Netflix yet.
Yeah, because doesn't Redbox get some things exclusively?
Well, I mean,
Ahead of other
they get it
things?
fast.
Right.
They get everything fast at least.
When it comes out on DVD, they get it.
Yeah, so I still watch. Yeah, I still watch stuff on Redbox, but it's only it's $2.50, and I go to Rose Hours anyway, so it's right there. But so the episode there where he gets like super drunk from being stood up, I actually thought that was hilarious though. He's at the restaurant waiting for. He just keeps basically drinking and drinking.
Yeah.
You bitch. It's like how it felt to me, like, you. Oh man, I thought that was hilarious.
Well, I think didn't someone try to point out that he shouldn't be driving when he's drunk, and he's like,
yeah.
I'm chief of police, I do what
Yeah,
I want.
he's like, oh, I'm chief of police. Or he's sheriff. He's like, I'm the sheriff.
What actress was it that got all up in arms about his behavior? On the
Oh,
show?
there was
It
somebody.
Rachel. It was the Westworld.
Yeah,
Robot.
Rachel.
How can you care how someone acts
Rachel
on a TV
Evan
show?
Wood. or
Evan Rachel Wood.
Evan Rachel Wood. Yeah, she got.
You totally messed
But
that up.
he's acting.
You
He's
know,
playing a character.
Evan Rachel Wood.
Yeah, he's gonna go around and say I can do what I want because I'm on Stranger Things now.
I've had 10 people tell me, like seriously, like 5 people tell me that Bree's celebrity doppelganger is Evan Rachel Wood.
Really?
I'm like,
I don't see that.
I think they're thinking of Evan Rachel Wood when she was in True Blood because she has red hair, but that's it.
Now I have to Google Evan Rachel Wood and True Blood because I don't.
Do it while we continue to talk.
Yeah, you guys go ahead.
All right, so overall though, did you like episode 3?
Yeah,
I did too.
because I loved watching Hopper and Joyce argue like an
Yeah.
old married couple.
I know, because the whole time you're watching it, you're
Because
like,
Joyce acts like she's so like innocent and like she didn't do anything wrong because she wants to investigate her magnet. You don't leave an awesome guy like Hopper, who went and got tangled up in a bunch of vines in season 2 for your son that has nothing to do with this show.
I know.
You don't leave him hanging.
Poor Will.
Poor Will.
Well, and so
that
Will,
character is just.
so Will plays into episode 3 though, because he insists on doing the girl or episode 4. He wants to do the girls' free night. You know.
Yeah, and then I think this is off topic, but isn't that the one where he and Mike go out in the rain and start arguing, right?
Yeah.
And then I think they hinted that Will might be LGBT.
Yeah, I think it's somewhat
the-
implied.
With
Bree,
the, it's not my fault you don't like girls.
yeah, I think Bree says she doesn't think they do hint at that, but that is what I got out of it. I got that they were hinting that he might be homosexual.
A lot of people got that.
Which is fine. I mean, it's fine for the show.
It still doesn't do anything for his character.
No, it doesn't. It does not. It's not development.
It's like, oh my god, I'm so interested now. Will's my new favorite character. He might be gay next season.
yeah, it still isn't any development for the character at all.
It isn't.
Especially
Well, and
since,
it's a gay character in the '80s, so he's got the
Right.
'90s to live through.
well, especially since yeah. Well, and he'll probably die of AIDS. They'll terrible.
Okay.
But they'll probably
God help us.
the problem is that if that's what they're implying for the character is that he will be eventually a gay character,
That dies of AIDS.
they actually do it later on in the season. They do it later on in the season with the girl character
Which one?
who does what's her name? Robin.
Yeah. That's
She
right.
who does come out to Steve. That does happen. Sorry, Ward.
It's
To
okay.
his sport.
Look
But
at this.
she comes out to Steve, and they actually do handle it really well. With Steve, they actually handle it very sensitively. So if they wanted, but I thought it was interesting because if they actually wanted, Will's character to be gay, they overshadow it by actually having a character come out as gay in the show, and then having it being handled well.
why would you do it
Whereas early on in the season, it's like, that's not my fault you don't like girls. You be a big gay. If that's what they were implying, I kind of felt like they were. Bree thinks it was more like, it's not my fault you don't like girls, as in like they're still kids and he's still like stuck in like
I could see that too.
kid mode. I mean, the problem is that in you're 13.
Yeah.
When I was like 10, I still played. I mean, I played with action figures for a pretty long time. So I played with toys for a pretty long time, really. But I still, even at like 10, 11,
I liked girls
10,
from like
9,
6 on.
I mean, I liked girls when I was
Yeah.
a little kid. So I don't know. You know, like in movies and stuff, like the He-Man Woman Hater Club, you know, like from the Little Rascals or stuff like that.
yeah.
I don't ever remember being a time where I was like, "Oh, girls have cooties and I don't like girls." I've always been like, since I was a little kid, I've always been like the type of person that's like, "No, I like girls. I dig that." Like if there was like a like for instance, if there was like a project or like some assignment we had to do like in grade school, and we got like paired off with a girl, I was like, noise. I was like, noise. So I'm far enough removed though. You're 13. So when's the last time you've been like, ew, girls, cooties? And like
most of his like
when they
friends
actually
were
look like they could have some kind of disease that could actually spread to you.
most of your friends like up through like 5th grade though were girls, weren't they? Or a lot of the ones you hung out with.
Did you?
Yeah, because they're decent human
Did
beings.
you? But did you have? But so you're 13 though, so you can remember far enough back. So I'm trying to remember back forever ago. You're 13, so can you remember back to a time where you actually? I mean,
You
like-
cuties.
like, did you have crush on girls as like a 9-year-old, 10-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess
It doesn't really make sense. 'cause
so
the
that
people
part
that
of the
say, "Ew,
show-
cooties,"
I guess that's so. So I was trying to
I
figure
think
out like is
it's
that playing on
probably
a
a stigma that hung around from the like different generation, maybe because boys had to go play with boys. and,
Sure.
girls had to play with dolls, and so then it became kind of throughout the 80s. It started to become more of a melting pot.
Okay. Yeah.
With as far as the mixing the genders together and
Yeah.
having them play together
Yeah.
and stuff, because daycares and things came along. There wasn't as much stay-at-home momish stuff, and so they kind of went away from the idea
why I just thought-
of having boys do more stuff with boys, and that's why like the club, like though they while they still exist, like Eagles Club and Elks and stuff like
Sure.
that, those are kind of less prominent, less access
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
than they say they were back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
If that
I mean,
makes sense. I'm overthinking it probably a little
I
bit.
mean, and maybe I am too. So that's what I was talking about with the show. Like, that's why I thought they implied that the character was gay. Because, so Bree thinks it's because no, he's just young. He doesn't like girls yet. That's what they're implying. But I don't remember a time where I didn't have a crush on girls. Like, I always remember being even in like kindergarten, my mom used to like make a joke that I was a little lush. that I always was like flirtatious and stuff with girls.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the show. So I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out is like if the show was trying to play into a thing where like boys don't like girls until a certain age, or if the show was trying to play with the fact that like this boy just doesn't like girls. He likes something else or someone else. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. And
I think it's actually probably what
2019.
Bree's saying,
It probably
because they're still
The show
trying to
is
play into those
2019 too,
tropes
yeah.
from the 80s.
Yeah. But it is an 80s show made in the 2019s, though. So it's
Right,
like
so it wouldn't
would
surprise
be easy
you.
to assume. I don't know. It was
Yeah,
really
no.
it's a
No, but I was watching another show on Amazon called like that No Good Nick show, and then like now they're doing a gay character too. I think it's like a 2019. You have to have one of those.
No, it's been since before 2019.
Well,
well,
yeah,
I mean,
but it's
especially now though.
recent. It's more
Dude,
recent.
cartoons now.
Yep.
Dude, cartoons.
Yeah, there was a Disney Channel show that.
Well,
did
what
it for
about
the first
frickin'
time, like a year ago?
Adventure Time.
That too.
Adventure Time, Princess Bubblegum, and
Marceline.
Marceline. They reveal pretty. I mean, well, what season? Maybe toward the end.
It was closer to the end.
It's especially at the end. They definitely established that those two are girlfriends. Like they established and they call it out right away.
But-
like those are girlfriends.
But also, I mean, you have a dog dating a unicorn, so
I mean that's true. But I mean they made it a point though on Adventure Time to say like these two girls are in a relationship.
What would a dog do? Would that be interspecies bestiality or?
I'm not sure. Well, and then Steven Universe is made by a huge like.
that whole community is weird.
Yeah, the Steven Universe community is like that show's very much like to like. I don't want to sound like a red pillar, but like to indoctrinate people to be like, oh, gay's a thing, which it is, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying like when you watch Steven
It's just
Universe,
kind of like it wants to
it's
force
very
feed you
much like
an agenda.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and there's no way around it. I'm pretty sure the showrunner for Steven Universe has openly said the show was supposed to be kind of that.
Yeah.
I liked it before I got like really invested into that, and then I just stopped watching it.
But anyway, so on the show, that was interesting.
I think Robin did a better job than Will and Mike.
I liked Robin's too. So I guess that was like my whole point is like Robin. So it's cool how they do it, and we'll probably talk about this again because it'll come up when we're supposed to talk about it. but when Robin comes out to Steve, so earlier in the episode, she tells Steve that she was obsessed with him in high school.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, she had a crush on him. And then she reveals like, no, I was obsessed with you because this girl that she liked was obviously obsessed with Steve. And her obsession was like, why would she like him?
Right.
Because he's
And
such a
it made
douchebag.
sense. It was like
And it
it's
is.
way different
But
than
it's-
anything else. that
But it's
I've
handled really sensitively and it's handled really well because Steve hears her say it and then he's like, well, she was kind of lame. Like, he's like, that girl's kind of lame though, wasn't she? Like, and then they become, and then at the end of the show, it shows them being like best friends. Like Robin and Steve are like great friends. It's handled really well. And if that's what they're doing with Will and Mike, it's not handled well.
Yeah.
You can't handle one well and then handle.
It's
the
really,
other,
it's just
like,
really
horribly.
interesting for the show. It's hard to. It was almost like they had two different groups of writers.
See, this is why you just kill off Will. Eliminate the whole problem.
Let's kill them off. There's so much. It's funny.
Leave that
'cause
hanging in the air. Yeah.
It's just funny because on the internet, there's so many things that are like, where is Will's character going to go? Like, in the next season.
See, this is how it goes. Will was gay, and then he was dead by a Demogorgon, or as Derek mentioned, AIDS.
AIDS for sure. The next season though, I can't. I gotta say I can't see too many more scenes of Will with the hairs on his neck.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm tired of it.
He's always got something weird going on.
It's too much.
His neck hairs.
He's here. Like,
Oh
yeah,
my
I
God,
get
he's
it.
here.
Is that all your character is now? Is to let us know when he's here?
Like, there's that one point.
We see it.
And then
There's
you get,
that one point later on where Eleven had just gotten back from being in the Upside Down and knowing that it was coming, and she's like, "It's coming," and then like 5 seconds later, Will's like, "Oh my God, it's here!" and touches his neck.
Right. Hey man, it's interesting. That character.
He does nothing.
so episode 4.
Yeah.
Did you get into episode 4?
Yeah, we're
No.
still.
Okay.
Well, we're getting into it. Episode
Somewhat.
4.
We got
So
very,
episode
very
4 though
sidetracked.
is where Will is. He's demanded that they have like a girls' night free because basically Lucas and Mike are driving him nuts because
They won't stop talking about
they
girls.
won't quit talking about their girlfriends who have like basically started to conspire against them.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And it actually is. I actually do like the genuine friendship building between Max and 11.
Max has
I do
always
like
been
that.
one of my favorite characters since season
Yeah.
2, and I like that she like kind of taught 11 how to be normal and less. I dumped your ass.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, the genuine friendship building between Max and 11 is good. It's well done. It shows them genuinely becoming friends. I really like that.
Those two, and then Steve and Robin by far were the two friendship moments.
Yeah, I liked it too. In the same episode 4, that's where
Is episode 4 when the child endangerment Erica thing happens? Where she's like, it's child endangerment and she wants all these ice cream for a year or for life or whatever. She has these terms.
I think that's where it starts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that's also the same one
I
where
think it is.
that's also the same episode. Yeah, that's their storyline. So that's Robin, Steve, and
That was funny.
that's a good episode.
Erica is funny.
And then and she ends up being a great character in the
She's
show.
bossy at first, but then she gets like hilarious.
Yeah, and later on, and I think episode 5 and 6 we'll talk about next season
Yeah.
or next episode. Erica has some really funny parts.
Oh yeah, there's one towards the end, like towards the last 2 episodes, that is great.
Well, I love the nerd stuff. I love the My Little Pony stuff. We'll talk about that. Yeah, it was My Little Pony. It's hilarious though.
I laughed so hard. Spoiler alert! When she called the little Russian translator dude, what's his face? She goes, "I'm 11, you bald bastard."
Yeah, that's funny. Dustin and Erica's stuff is really funny.
Yeah.
So in episode 4, that's also the episode where they're testing. They're gonna do the sauna test.
Yes,
on
that was
Billy.
good.
Billy is probably the most tragic character in season 3.
Yeah, I like what they've done with his character. You can't really feel awful for him, but after.
Well, you
season
do.
2, but you start to feel.
No.
less-
I mean, you can feel a little bad for him in season 2 because you could tell his dad is obviously like abusive.
Yeah, you don't feel as horrible for
But-
hating him.
In season 3, you really delve into his character a lot more through the use of Eleven being able to go into his mind a little bit.
That was good.
Yeah, see, episode 4, remember, now she's seen him basically what looks like drown the girl in the tub, which we find out is not the case. But they've come to understand that the mind flayer is inside of Billy. And Will helps with that too. Like, he helped, like, that's the way it would be. He wants to be cold. Like, that's what's going on. Right. So
My
then,
neck told me that.
right. Yeah. My neck hairs told me the mind flayer is in him. So their plan is to get him in the sauna, turn the sauna up hot, and then they'll see, what it's like.
And it works, and it's really
It does
cool.
work.
But then Max gets all softy, which really surprised me because of all the people you'd think she would hate him.
Yeah, and I thought that was an interesting turn of character for her because
it's
we never
interesting.
see her be like this loving.
So what I think
character.
happened is maybe after season 2, after that whole thing went down, maybe they had like a heart-to-heart off screen.
Could
And
be.
he told her about all his backstory and cred, so now she has a deeper sense of knowing why he did all that cred to the.
It would have been nice to build it on screen though, so that we have a reason
then
to
you know
understand
why
why she's so upset
That
about
felt weird.
Billy.
Cause
Well, because the whole season I'm like, why does she care as much? He's a jerk to her.
yeah.
We never see him.
But I do think it happened though, because otherwise it would make no sense why she's sticking up for the person that literally went to go kill all her friends.
Yeah. The sauna scene's good.
Yeah, because then what happens is Billy takes the piece of the broken wall that he fell into, and he's dying, and he acts like he's Billy, but then to
Yeah, he
get
does.
Max to let him out, and he says, it's out of me, let me out, I please, it's hurting me.
Right.
And then he grabs the thing, and then Max goes up to the glass, and she says, no, I can't, and then, or whatever, and then Billy just goes and takes it into his own hands and smashes through the glass, opens the door, and attacks Max and 11. He really gets 11.
Yeah, he does.
But then Mike sticks up for it, and it's a whole big, weird, it's a crazy cool fight scene. And then you see that he is really, really wounded and just full on, like, ditches it.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
It was
And
a cool
one of
scene.
They did a much better job with the fight scenes and the action scenes
Yeah.
this season. Like when Hopper got the living hell beat out of him, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
This is the one where they meet Alexi, I think. Because Hopper goes in.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
He almost, like, he is so mad at the mayor because he saw that guy in there the other day. And then he's about to, like, really give the mayor a. Like, you'd think the mayor, with all this power he has, would say
Right.
something. But I guess Hopper did kind of scare him. And I felt like Joyce was such a tag-along, sitting there in the office, like, what are you doing?
And the mayor is Carrie Elwes, by the way,
Oh yeah.
which is great. Princess Bride. Billy, the guy that plays Billy, I don't know if you saw it. Did you watch the Power Rangers
Yes,
reboot?
I did, and I liked
So he's
it.
Jason.
I liked that one.
So did I.
I don't know
I
why
thought it
they're
was
not
great.
doing it. I thought it was actually really good.
I thought it was great. So that's Jason though, who
Yeah.
plays Billy. So I went into season 3 actually more excited because I had watched Power Rangers and I was like, oh,
I had watched it way before that.
oh, so I had not. So I had no idea who he was in season 2. But Billy ends up being a great character in the show. It's a shame that he well, I don't want to spoil anything,
His
but
ending was good though.
it is good. But it's definitely
We've spoiled enough for my dad.
yeah. Well, it's for the
I won't
listeners,
remember
too.
it anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm drunk tonight, and then I won't.
Is there anything else? Anything else from episode 3 or 4?
Well, we gotta address Alexi.
Yeah.
He's full like godsend.
Yeah, Alexi he ends up being the new Bob too, and Barb.
Yeah, except for he's an A-name character. We're sticking with that B train. So
I know, but I mean, just his character arc though.
God, that man.
It's
is
so
awesome.
good, and
I never thought I would care so much for a Russian.
he doesn't speak a word of English in the. This is actually a testament to how good the show is, though. Ward is that this character speaks Russian the entire time. You only really know anything he says once. Eventually, they meet up with Brett Gelman, who can speak Russian.
Yeah, the one
And
that's
so
all
he
crazy about
so
it.
he translates for them. But Alexi ends up being like this great character
He's hilarious.
without speaking any English in the show. That actually is just a testament to his acting, though.
Oh yeah.
Because he does a great job at projecting his lines, projecting his character without using English. And you end up falling for this character who's completely Russian. He does not speak any English in the show.
That's awesome.
And it's good. And it's not like, they could have had him speak with a Russian accent and have him eventually be like, oh, you do know English. And then have him, cop out and do that. Nope.
Okay, but that guy that does speak the Russian, we have to somewhat address it at some point.
We will.
He is so obsessed with sexual references and getting people together and in bed.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well-
Was he going to invite Joyce and Hopper to his house to the same bed
Well,
that Nancy and Jonathan?
And actually, I do have something about that, and we'll save it for another episode. But to me, it was actually really lazy. It's actually super duper lazy, because he does the same thing that he does. He does the same thing to Hopper and Joyce that he does to Nancy and Jonathan. And to me, it was actually the writers of the show just being like, "Oh, this is something his character would do." I mean, I don't know. I thought it was actually
He was dumb.
I was really lazy, I thought. And we'll talk about that when we get there.
It's 2019. It should make you creeped out.
But that's it for episode 3 and 4 of Stranger Things. This is Stranger Show.
We should just try to do the last 4 episodes in one final.
Nah, we'll do 2.
Yeah.
2 more.
Break them up.
I
got
want to
2
get it over.
Nah, 2 more.
I want to finally be able to talk about the ending.
We will. 2
All right.
more episodes, friends.
It's why we're strange.
TSPN.fun. You can say it, but we gotta get the plugs in. Go to TSPN.fun.
That's why we're strange.
Listen to the show. There
That's
you
why we're
can
strange.
write a review, rate it on iTunes, all that stuff. Da 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 da.
That's why we're strange.
Uh-huh. Just keep going. Let's do it.
That's why
Yeah.
we're strange.
That's why we're
That's why we're
strange.
strange.
Yeah.
That's why we're strange.
Perfect.
Little
Thank you very
notoriety.
much for listening to the show. We will be back. What, next week? We're still
Not
good?
next week.
Not next week.
I'll be gone next week.
Okay, week
So
after.
the week after.
Week after, we'll talk about 2 more episodes. 5 and 6, and 7 and 8. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, that's why we're strange.